This recipe uses a few key tips for making perfect pork chops in a pan that are juicy, tender, and delicious. Let's begin with 2 bone-in pork chops that are about 1.5 inches thick. Start patting them down with paper towels to remove any excess moisture. The first key tip is to make a handful of small incisions around the outside of each pork chop. This will prevent it from curling up when it hits the hot pan and allow it to lay flat so the entire chop can get a good sear. Then, liberally season all sides with salt and rub it in. I don't add any other seasonings directly to the pork because they could burn in the pan, but it's important to let the chops sit out for 20 to 30 minutes so they can absorb the salt. Right before you're ready to begin cooking, make sure to dry off the top side of the pork because the salt will release more of the moisture. Swirl around a tablespoon of neutral oil in a preheated stainless steel or cast iron pan on medium heat. Lay in the side you just dried off face down and make sure to press it in so it gets full contact with the pan. Cover with a screen to help with splattering and cook for about 4 minutes on the first side. When it's ready to flip, it will naturally release itself from the pan, so don't force it if it's not ready. But when it is, flip it over and it should be nicely golden brown. Let them sear for another 3 to 4 minutes on the second side before removing it to a plate for the first rest. This chop was slightly thicker, so I left it in the pan for an extra minute while searing the fat cap around the sides. While the pork sits, turn the heat down to low and melt 1.5 tablespoons of butter before dropping in a few crushed garlic cloves. Tilt the pan to fry the garlic and help it cook faster. Place the pork chops back in the pan and begin basting over the butter with a spoon. Baste on low heat for about 1.5 minutes on each side, making sure all parts and even the bone get covered in some of the butter. You can place the garlic on top of the chops to flavor it even more. Once again, I left the thicker piece in for an extra minute or so. You can test the pork by pushing in the center and it should be firm but bounce back slightly. Or you can use a meat thermometer and take it out when the center gets just past 140 degrees. As it rests, the pork will finish cooking. Resting the pork twice allows us to spend less time cooking it in the pan and risk drying it out. Pour a couple spoonfuls of the butter on top when they hit the plate. Turn the pan back up to medium and deglaze with 1/4 cup of vegetable or chicken stock. Scrape the bottom of the pan with a wooden spoon to get up all the brown bits. Then pour in the resting juices from the pork. Give that a mix before adding a tablespoon of Dijon mustard and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Give it a stir and switch to a whisk if necessary to incorporate the mustard. Finish with 2 tablespoons of honey and let it cook and reduce until it gets a nice consistency and easily coats a spoon. Pour it into a bowl when you're ready to serve. Now you can slice up the pork, taking it off the bone first. It should be white but still juicy and have a little rosy color towards the center and the bone. Plate it up and spoon over the sauce before enjoying. Please write any questions or thoughts in the comments and let me know if you plan on trying this one out. Thank you for watching.